I'm doing a review of Avengers 500. This is written by Michael Brian Benson, and for ages this was considered like the most important issue and one of the best Avengers stories ever written, even though it was not. This is the first Michael Brian Benson issue of the Avengers. It's called Avengers Disassembled. This is when the franchise truly went to shit. Like, I didn't like some of the stuff that came before this one, but this is what really killed them for us. I fucking hate this issue. We start off with our painful scene with the Avengers. They're sat around doing out, and that will actually become the trademark of the Avengers when written by Michael Brian Benson. They will sit around doing out, eating food, and it will be always backed up with the usual horrific Benson dialogue. And here we start off with Hawkeye from MASH being misogynistic, talking about which supervillain of all the supervillains he'd most like to bang. It's just juvenile. I hate it. It's pathetic. It's schoolboy sexist crap being put into the mouth of a long-lasting fan favourite character. It is so disrespectful. Keep in mind, this is how Benson is opening up his run on the book. And then we've got this little bit down here where Michael Brian Benson is trying to show how woke and progressive he is. He has got She-Hulks and Wasps calling Hawkeye from MASH a pig. You are a pig, Hawkeye from MASH. You don't even know what we're talking about, She-Hulks. Wasps, am I wrong? Is he being a pig? No, you are not wrong, and yes, he is a pig. See? Honestly, I have never liked Benson dialogue. It's dreadful. Like, I can't stand Joshua Whedonson, but this is even worse. It's like it's trying hard to be Buffy, but also be Quentin Tarantino at the start of Reservoir Frogs. And it has got none of the charm, or the wit, or the complexity of either of those things. And I remember fan sites and like idiots on CBR forums saying that this stuff is great, that like having 2 whole pages of Hawkeye from MASH saying he wants to dick Madam Hydra's, how that is great and it is natural and how real people talk. Now, don't get us wrong, I really fancy Madam Hydra's too. Like, she is beautiful, but she's not even in this comic. This is how Benson has chosen to introduce Hawkeye from MASH to a new generation of readers, as a leery pig objectifying a woman who isn't even in it. And just because he has got She-Hulks and Wasps calling him a pig, that doesn't make it okay. Because after that he has a whole other page just dwelling on how much he wants to shag her anyway. So, after 2 pages of that, we quickly get the rotten corpse of Ace of Spades showing up. If you were a new reader, this would just confuse you, especially since we're told nothing about him, and then we get a double splash page as he randomly explodes, killing himself and Ant-Man, who we also weren't told anything about. But hey, look, you get to see Ant-Man's mangled skeleton with charred bits of flesh on it. Isn't that a good way to be introduced to a new character? So, we have had 2 characters who aren't set up and who the new reader doesn't know, flippantly obliterated in 2 pages for no reason, with virtually no characterization and no actual narrative framing it. This is a good example of just how much Michael Brian Benson loved the Avengers franchise. He started off by making a popular character sleazy and then showing graphic deaths of two characters that he didn't like and didn't want to write. Then we're done with that strand, so we cut to Iron Man being drunk, and it's even out of character for drunk Iron Man. Like, he is being racist and antagonistic, but if you read the classic stories with him as an alcoholic, he was shown as either being high-functioning or defeatist. Sometimes he would be flippant or inconsiderate, but never aggressively confrontational, and definitely never racist. And here, he has been racist to his friend, Cool Tiger. And then on the next page, we have got a funny little quip at Hank Gordon's expense here. Don't you have a wife to beat? Then we've got the Charlotte Witch, and a lot of people hate this story, rightfully, because it turns out that Charlotte Witch is insane and always has been, and she's behind it all. But they forget that Benson took a sledgehammer to almost every character just because he wanted to revamp the whole team with his pet characters like Luke Cage's and Spider-Woman. Then we cut back to Avengers Mansion, where people are uncharacteristically horrible to Alfred the Butler, until Captain America, the best superhero in all the world of all time ever, until Captain America stands up for him. The thing is, I reckon Michael Brian Benson thinks he is the first writer to ever have a big scene with someone standing up for Alfred. And he's that vain and that uninterested in reading old comics, not by Hank Miller and Christopher Clairvoyant, that he thinks this is all new ground. The thing is, this has been done loads, and if he had bothered to read a single issue of the Avengers, he probably would have known that Alfred is more than capable of standing up for himself, and that Captain America's sentiments about Alfred counting as an Avenger, they're about the oldest fucking thing in the book. And then we have got multiple double splash pages of the Vision crashing an Avengers jet into the mansion. And you'll notice this is like the 5th double splash page. Michael Brian Benson, he discovered the secret to getting a script in on time every month was just have as many double splash pages as possible, and you have to write very little script to go with it. And we've got the Vision coming out, and we've got the exact same problem as before. The Vision, there is no narrative presented for this, and we aren't told who the Vision is at all. New readers wouldn't know if he was a hero or a villain. Then he just starts giving birth to all these little Ultrons, and we're not told who Ultron is either. Then the team, none of whom we've been introduced to, except for sexist Hawkeye from MASH. They fight these robots over more double splash pages, and then finally we get another big double splash page with She-Hulk tearing the Vision in half. So now the Vision is dead as well. We were never told anything about him, and now She-Hulk, starts going crazy and attacking everyone. She goes on a rampage, fighting everyone. End of issue, thankfully. This is abysmal, and the story actually gets worse after this. It is really embarrassing that this ever got published. And Tom Beaver, the editor, he has reckoned for years that it is a good starting point for new fans. It's not, it is a confused mess of bad ideas. This is a first issue that has no narrative and doesn't introduce any of the characters or any concepts, and instead likes to waste time on misogyny, killing off characters meaninglessly, double splash pages. It's just a taste of things to come, I guess. And the same idiots say that Michael Brian Benson finally made the Avengers sell, which I'm sure is news to Kurt Busey, who only 4 years before this was doing an Avengers book, and it was a bestseller. I hate this book and everyone involved with it. So, this was issue 500 as well. A huge milestone. It should be a celebration, not a fucking assassination. Here is a real celebration of the Avengers. Fuck this book. Fuck Brian Michael Benson. And definitely fuck Tom Beaver for okaying this shit and not doing his job ever. So what if it sold well? It sold well because he told people it was important. And it was important. But for all the wrong reasons. This was the start of the end. This is not for fans. This is not for new readers. This is a comic for no one. I rate it 7 thumbs up.